Hey there, Powerhouse. I have a question for you. Are you ready to make 2025 your year? Are you ready to step into the boldest, most confident self and create a life and career that lights you up? If you're nodding along right now, then you cannot miss Unleashing You Live happening on Monday, February 3rd. This isn't your typical professional development event. Unleashing You Live is a day designed for ambitious women like you, a mix of fun, connection, mindset breakthroughs, and actionable strategies to help you create success on your terms. Here's what you'll experience: inspiring speakers who will share the real, unfiltered stories of how they built their success, workshops and coaching tools to help you uncover your next big steps, networking with powerhouse women who will cheer you on every step of the way, pop-up shops, a nourishing lunch, and a swag bag filled with goodies to fuel your journey. Whether you're on the corporate track, a business owner, or starting that side hustle, this event is for you. Now, for my VIPs out there, because I know you love a little extra sparkle, there's also an incredible VIP experience happening on Sunday, February 2nd, the day before the main event. This exclusive opportunity is designed to treat you like the VIP you are. Here's what's included: a sound bath session to help you tap into your intuition and feel like your best self, an exclusive penthouse social with me, our event speakers, and other VIPs. Think hot seat coaching, appetizers, drinks, and a breathtaking view of Denver. You'll receive exclusive VIP gifts and discounts, plus a private coaching call with me after the event to keep your momentum going. Of course, the VIP package already includes a ticket to the Unleashing You Live main event on February 3rd. Head to acrprofessionalcoaching.com or DM me on Instagram at AmandaRiffy_coaching to grab your ticket now. Whether you join us for the main event or elevate your experience with the VIP package, this is your chance to step into the room, shift your mindset, and create the success you deserve. The energy will be electric, the conversations will be game-changing, and you will leave ready to take on the world. So what are you waiting for? Hit pause, grab your ticket now. We can't wait to see you there. Welcome to Unleashing You. This podcast is your permission slip to create success your way. I'm your host, Amanda Riffy, a certified success coach and female business leader who has climbed her way up the corporate ladder. I've been through burnout and back and found the tools to bring fun and enjoyment to my career while creating powerful results and leading in a way that feels authentic to me. This show brings you conversations with women just like you who have created massive success for themselves and are doing it in their own way. We'll hear about their personal journeys of growing their career while still prioritizing the things they love most. If you are ready to be challenged and encouraged to reach your next level, then buckle up, sister, because the road to dreamy success begins here. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Unleashing You. This is the second episode in the Ask Amanda series where we answer your questions. So Ashley, talk to us. What do we have? What types of questions do we have for this time?
Yeah, we got some really good questions. So I kind of grouped these questions all together because there was tons of questions about kind of just coaching in general and how they know if they need a coach, if they've got the right coach, kind of just coaching kind of 101. So I'll just start off with one that kind of came through a couple times, actually. If I have you as a coach, how will I leverage that and benefit the most? What does working together really look like?
Okay. I will say the clients that benefit the most when they're working with me, or like when I'm working with my coach, the clients who benefit the most are the ones that take in the learning and then also follow it up with action first and foremost. You know, I love talking about big dreams. That is something that I absolutely love. But a dream is just a dream until we take action on it. So if you are going to invest financially, invest your time, all of those things, you want to get the most out of it. And you get the most out of it by being open, ready to shift, ready to receive whatever learning is in there for you. And then follow that up with action. We're not going to get anywhere if we don't have that aligned action afterwards. The other thing that I would add in there is to just take advantage of all of the ways that you can communicate with your coach. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. You might have one-on-one sessions. You might have group sessions. You might have chat access to them. You might be able to send them voice memos or voice notes. Really lean into those platforms because a coach is there not to train you, right? But really to bring out those answers from within you. So the more you share with them, the more often you share it, the more your coach is going to be able to show up for you. So the first thing I would say is, be open, ready to receive, then make sure that you're following that up with that aligned action. So you're actually making progress and moving the needle. And then just lean into every avenue that you can communicate with your coach.
I think what I really love about that whole kind of everything you just said kind of lumped together is that it's just as much on the person being coached as it's on the coach. Like, don't come to the coach thinking that they're going to solve all of your problems and they are going to create the business of your dreams. Like, that's still on you.
Yes. I always tell people when we very first get started is like, you're going to get out of this what you put into it. So if you aren't going to be fully dedicated to that experience, then you're not going to get the most benefit out of it. Like, the more you put in, the more you're going to get out.
This isn't like me just coming to you and saying, hey, I'm going to write you a check and you're going to do this for me. Like, that's not how somebody's going to benefit from that.
Correct. Yep. And I think the follow-up question to that was, what does working together look like?
Yeah. And you kind of mentioned, because I love that you said, hey, is it voice, chats? Is it like, how does that relationship look? What is working together with a coach? What should that look like?
Yes. And I would first go into it thinking, what do I want to get out of this? And you might not, that doesn't mean like, I need to know every step, everything, or, because a lot of that is also gaining clarity on your dreams, your career, whatever it is that you're wanting to work on. But you want to have some type of focus of like, okay, here's what I want to get out of this. And then you can choose your path with a coach based on that. So you might join a mastermind that has a group setting. There's something that I'm launching for 2025 that I'll just talk about it right now. That is going to focus on women who have a full-time career and want to start or grow their own business alongside their 9-to-5. So if that's you, that mastermind type of situation, which is essentially a small group where all of those women are in very similar situations with very similar goals, that is going to be a great scenario for you because we've got learning, we've got training, we've got subject matter experts that join specifically for that topic. So really get very aligned with what is it that I want to get out of this, and then go find the program or the offer that is going to align specifically with that.
It's like you knew my next question.
I did?
And it was somebody that asked, how is coaching customized to me in my situation? Or is this a one-size-fits-all model? And I think you kind of hit on that with the mastermind class. Yeah.
Yes. Coaching should never be one size fits all. So if you ever feel that, pivot, pivot away from that scenario because it should never be one size fits all. Even just this year, I've really been looking at who are the clients I love working with? And then how do I even go one level deeper to continue to tailor my coaching experiences to them? So we just mentioned the mastermind that I'm going to be launching at the beginning of the year. And spoiler alert, that I don't know what it is about this podcast, but I just like, oh yeah, let me just talk about all these things I've never talked about before. So that mastermind is also going to have an in-person retreat element to it at the very end. So if you are a career-driven woman who is wanting to grow something yourself as well, so you could be not even started your business yet, maybe not even know what that might look like, or you could be in the earlier stages of trying to balance both of those things. This experience is completely customized to that woman, that person, because I've been that person balancing that corporate career while also trying to grow something on the side. And there was a lot of lessons learned, but experience like that has then subject matter experts that talk about, okay, how do we do the money in those types of situations? How do you start an LLC? How do you price your offers? How do you fit that into your busy life? So it's like very, very customized to that individual. And then we also have one-on-one coaching, which is 100% customized to you. One-on-one coaching should always be customized to you. Exactly. Because it's just you and the coach. So it's whatever you want to work on, whatever you want to talk about. The other thing that I would look at are retreats. Retreats are incredible. I've been on several myself. I host retreats and they are just so life-changing. And I would again find a retreat that is very customized to what you want to, the transformation that you want to see. So next year for the Unleashing You retreat, we're really diving deep on career-driven women who are maybe feeling a little stagnant in their career. They're feeling burned out and they just really want to reignite that fire while finding that balance. So find that messaging, find that program, find that offer that speaks specifically to you. Hands down, it should never feel like a one size fits all.
I love that. And I love the mastermind class you're talking about as far as it being kind of an ongoing thing and then having a retreat at the end where it kind of wraps everything up and you can say, okay, I started here. I went through this process and actually kind of see where that journey took you.
Oh my gosh. I'm writing all of the stuff for that. So it's very top of mind for me. And I am just so freaking excited about it. I can already picture several women that I can just see at that retreat, see in that mastermind. And it's anyone who has started their own business knows it can feel very lonely and it can feel like you're the only one experiencing these challenges when that is 100% false. So I love those containers or those experiences where we can bring everybody together who is in that similar stage, normalize what we're going through, keep those passions ignited, and actually hold each other accountable to make those dreams a reality. So the action is built right in.
And what a great place to start for somebody that's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to start an LLC, or I don't know what the bookkeeping side of this is going to look like, to have somebody walk you through that. That's awesome. Okay, this is a really interesting question. This one person said, I have previously worked with a coach, but found that it wasn't a good fit. I'm open to doing so again, but what would I need to look for to ensure a coach is the right fit for me? Got it wrong the first time, still open to the experience. How do they get it right the second time?
Well, let's just say I've been there. I have hired a coach that was not the right fit for me. It was the biggest investment I had made in a coach, like in a lump sum, and it was not a good experience. So I can speak firsthand to it. And then I've had coaches that I absolutely love and have been just the perfect fit for me. The difference in those experiences for me was the first one, number one, I felt pressured. I felt forced almost. Maybe forced is too strong of a word, but I felt very pressured to sign up with that person. Like, before we get off the call, you need to put in your credit card. Like, you need to do this, this, and this. And logically on paper, they had the results I was looking for. So it made sense. But I knew that the vibe and the energy was off and I ignored it. So the biggest thing I would say here is find someone who aligns with who you are. Get on a call with them or speak with them. Almost every coach is going to offer some type of, interaction with them for free, where you can, have.
And if they don't, it's probably a red flag that
Right.
maybe that's
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Or if they have a podcast, listen to that, like something to get to feel their energy, who they are as a person. Do their values align with yours? Because that is what is going to give you the best results. Yes, of course. Do they have credentials? Are they certified? Are they trained? All of that. But I also think that energy, that person, like I like to work with people I would want to hang out with on the weekend. Like that's who I love working with.
Well, and ultimately you're spending a lot of time with this person, and it's an investment. And we're kind of going to get to that in another question. It's an investment you're making in yourself. You don't want to not look forward to that time with that coach because you're thinking, oh gosh, this is not fit for me. Like a bad relationship. You don't want to go on a second date with somebody. Like this should be somebody you want to hang out with.
Yes, exactly. And when I had that first coach, we would get on group calls. It was kind of that mastermind situation, but we would get on group calls and I'd be in my head, please don't call on me. Please don't call on me, because she's very critical. She didn't make you feel great. And that is never the feeling you want when you are investing that much into yourself, your career, your growth. And now with every coach that I work with, I'm like super pumped to get on that call because I know I'm going to walk away with some new insight, some new action step. So, clarity on something. That's the way, to your point, that's the way it should feel. You should be really excited to work with them.
That makes sense. And trust your gut.
Trust that gut. Yeah.
Okay. Once I start working with a coach, how will I know if it's working? How can I measure success?
Ooh. This one is a tough one because, as we talked about before, it's not a one size fits all. Coaching is not one size fits all. So the goals that you have might be different from somebody else. Now, again, if you're in like a mastermind or something like that with very focused, similar people, then that's a little bit easier to measure what that looks like. But I would say success, you can feel it inside. You can feel, have I made lifetime shifts? Have I done something that I know I would have never done before if it hadn't been for this experience? Am I doing something differently or have some new insight or approach to life or career that I couldn't have gotten to on my own? And that, I think, is what success looks like in coaching.
Yeah.
It's, yes, what do you want to get out of it? But it's really hard sometimes to measure. Of course, you can be like, oh, I got that raise that I wanted to get, or I saw this huge profit in my business, or, fill in the blank. But most of it are those inner shifts that only you can feel and that only you know, holy crap, like that was because of this. And I always say it like takes probably like years of personal growth and combines it into months. Like things that you would maybe get to down the road, you're going to completely collapse time when you work with a coach. So it's those types of things I think are the biggest successes.
That makes sense. Okay, this next question came up several times, and I don't think anybody disagrees with this. Coaching is an investment.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. It shouldn't be cheap. It's an investment because it's something that is so major to whatever stage of life you're in at that point. How do I justify that expense and not feel guilty?
Well, the guilt part is kind of that catch-22 because that's something you can work through in coaching. Because the guilt is some type of limiting belief in there of what are you making this mean, right? Am I making this mean, oh, I'm a bad mom because I'm not spending that money on my kids. I'm spending that money on myself, whatever that might be. So there's some type of story in there if that guilt is showing up, which actually coaching will help you work through. So I don't know, you can feel it before coaching, but what I think of is what is that return that you are going to get on this investment? Is it going to be, oh my gosh, I finally started a business for myself that I never thought was actually possible? Holy moly, that's huge, right? Or I now have balance between my career and my personal life, and I actually enjoy my life and I enjoy what I do. Like, how do you put a price tag on that? Right? So it's those types of shifts and results that you can see from coaching that make that investment worth it 10 times over. You can also put it monetarily too. So if you think about, okay, I invest, I don't know, we'll say $5,000. I'll just make this number up. I invest $5,000 in a coach. And my goal is, I really want to get clarity on my career. I want to move to that next level. Maybe I'm ready to get that promotion that I feel like I've been overdue for years. If you then walk away and get, I don't know, we'll just say a 5% raise or switch careers and, you've got that potential to make X number of dollars, that's going to pay for itself very, very quickly. Same thing if you're starting a business. If you can get, X number of clients, that's going to pay for itself very quickly. So not only in the inner work, the shifts, the way you show up, the happiness, the fulfillment that you feel in life, which I really think is priceless. But if you really need those numbers, I would look at, okay, what are my goals? And then how can I what is the monetary value of that success?
That makes sense. And like I say, it's not cheap. And there's a reason that it is an investment. And just like you said, if you're not investing in yourself and into a business, you're not going to get much in return, probably. It's really hard to start a business and say, okay, I'm just going to figure this out as I go along and expect it to be successful.
Yep. And that made me think of something else too, of where do these numbers come from? So I think about the amount that I have had to invest, we'll just say financially, but also obviously with my time and things like that too. But the amount that I've had to invest just to become certified as a coach, to continue learning and growing myself. When you work with a coach, you're getting all of their years of experience. You're getting all of their classroom work, all of their training, all of their certifications, all of their personal lessons learned. You're getting the shortcut to that. And that is huge, right? Because you have people that are like, I've been in corporate for 16 years. And there is a lot of value in the things that I have learned over that time, not even including my coaching certifications, the months that I've spent doing that, the things I've learned through the retreats I've gone on. We coaches bring all of that to you. So you don't have to go and invest all of those thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Well, and that leads me to our second to last question. How did you get started in coaching? And this person was saying, if it's something that I am potentially interested in, where would you recommend I start? I'm guessing you probably get this question a lot when people hear that, kind of what you do in your line of work and coaching comes up. I think people are always inquisitive to know, how did you get started? If that was something I was interested in, how would I get started?
Oh, yeah. And I do get this question a lot. First of all, I would say if you already know that coaching is something you want to get started in or learn more about, you're a step ahead of where I was for sure, because I had to figure that part out first. And to do that, just in case anybody's listening, don't skip over that part because I really want to get clarity on what I want to do next. The biggest thing that I did, first of all, was I said, what are the parts of my job? What are the things that I actually really love doing and look forward to? What are the things I'm really good at? What are the things that I could be working on it and 2 hours could pass and I just look up and I'm like, oh my gosh, that went by so fast. Think about what you are doing when you're in what we would consider that flow state, and then figure out, okay, now it's how do I get more of that? How do I create a career or a business that can give me more of that feeling? So that would really be the first step. But if you've already done that and coaching is it, coaching's what I want to do, then I would think about, who do you ideally want to work with? Who's your dream client? And that is going to be a little bit difficult because we're going to default to, I want to work with everybody because I'd never want to turn anyone away. And you get into this business because you want to help people. You want to be the jack of all trades. You want to be everything to everyone. Well, what happens with that though is, and I've learned this lesson more than one time, is when you try to accommodate everyone, you end up accommodating no one. So my messaging, your messaging then won't speak to the right person. You'll start attracting people that you really don't feel lit up about working with. So I would really think about like, just picture, maybe it's a real person, maybe it's somebody you make up in your mind, but like, who are they? What are their goals? What are their dreams? What are they looking for in a coach? And then again, it's hard to do all of this in a podcast but honestly, like if that's what you want to do, like join the mastermind in 2025, because this is exactly what we're going to dive into. But then you can get really, really clear on your messaging, your own personal brand, right? You start speaking to that exact person. In the meantime, with a coach, unless you have a coaching background already, I would highly suggest getting some type of certification or training, because I know even though my background was in learning and development, and so I did training, facilitation, all those things for years, which you know, and we even coached managers, we coached leaders. I thought I knew how to be a coach. I was like, oh, this would be so easy. I already do this all day long. No, I did not. No, I did not. Coaching as a profession is so much deeper than what we would just air quote called like, oh yeah, let me coach you on that. So I would definitely look into, I know I would not be the coach that I am today if I had not invested in some type of program to help me with that.
Yeah. Okay. So that is a perfect question to kind of end with then. So people that are saying, okay, I'm thinking about this, or I need to know if I'm wanting to be a coach, if I need a coach in my life, like, is there a book you would recommend to help them decide if coaching is right for anyone? Where do I start? If I'm a self-help person and think, okay, I need to do my research and I need to invest some time in this and really think about, is this what I need? Whether it's to begin my own coaching or to need a coach to help me with some things, where would you start?
Oh, this is so difficult. Yeah, I read books all day long about this stuff. So it's very hard to pick out one. I would say, kind of going back to the previous answer, really get clear on what it is that you want to get out of this. Who are the people you want to work with? What do you feel are even like your own blocks potentially in life or from taking that next step? And then find a book around that, because there's just a million different books out there and even ones that I've read. But I think the easiest answer to this question is think about what are the current blocks. So is it more money mindset potentially? Is it believing in yourself? Is it a fear of being seen? You know, whatever those are, there are books out there for each one of those topics. And so that can really help you.
And it's probably going to take me more than one book, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like one, like I'm going to go to Amazon and be like, hey, I found my answer.
Yes. And I'm constantly like in one-on-one sessions or when I'm working with clients, we'll bring up something and I'll recommend them a book based on that thing. So it is very, very customized. I will give a shameless plug if you want to figure out what a little bit about coaching. Like, honestly, that's what my book is about. It will be out in 2025 at some point, not available yet. But that was something that I really felt passionate about, was giving people a sample into coaching before making that big financial investment. So the book is comprised of my own personal stories and lessons learned, my clients, still confidentially with the names changed, of their personal experiences and breakthroughs. And then each one of the chapters has a lesson for you to take away and like write it in marker on your mirror or post it on your computer, like that lesson that you want to take away from that. And then each one of them also has a self-directed coaching tool in there too. So very excited.
So what I'm hearing is there's a lot coming in 2025. So
It sure is. Yeah. I think for the last podcast episode of the year, let's do a 2024 recap and a 2025 preview.
Yeah, totally. Because it'll be really interesting to see and it'll be fun next year to look back at this year and say, okay, yeah, remember when she was launching a book and a mastermind class and all of these things. And then we'll have all of these people to give like their testimonials from the mastermind and the retreat and the live event. It's so exciting.
It is. And this isn't a question that you asked me, but it just inspired me to say this. I think this is so, so big because we don't slow down to celebrate our own wins enough. Especially when you are career driven, you're always moving towards the next thing. I'm a 3 on the Enneagram. Many of the women I work with are 3s. We are achievers. We are driven. We are ambitious. And we don't stop to celebrate the wins. So I actually think that podcast episode is going to help me tremendously to go searching for what were the big wins this year. Because if you think back, like we got to go all the way back to January. And, I would encourage all of us to do that, to really just go through and pull out who did you become this year? What did you accomplish this year? What do you hope to, who do you hope to become next year?
And what's still on the table? I mean, not to think about like, oh, I didn't accomplish it this year, but is there still time for you to figure that out for next year? And is it worth keeping on your list? And what kind of resources do you need to help you get there?
Yeah. And if starting a business is one of them, stay tuned for the mastermind because it's going to be so good.
I love that.
Awesome. Okay. Were those all the questions, Ashley?
That was it. That was all of them.
Perfect. Oh, great timing. Thank you so much for, number one, Ashley, pulling all of those questions together, organizing them in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, it's fun to see like what's in people's heads when they're listening to something or, coming from a podcast or an Instagram live or whatever, and just kind of funneling through those questions to see what people are thinking as they're listening to you.
Yes. And then our next episode is going to be around like more of the spiritual side, the woo side of coaching.
What I call the woo-woo.
The woo-woo side. So if you have any questions on that you want to have us answer, send me a DM on Instagram at @AmandaRiffy_coaching. We are happy. I love that topic too. So that's going to be really good and fun. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who submitted questions. Like this is so much fun to be able to go through. And I really, really hope that this is helpful to you, that you're taking away at least 1 or 2 new insights, nuggets of inspiration. And I hope that you're excited about what's to come in 2025 because we're going to chat about that in a future episode. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you'd like to continue this conversation, connect with me on Instagram and say hello. You can find me at @AmandaRiffy_coaching. In the meantime, if you know you are ready to step into the next incredible version of you and want to completely accelerate your personal and professional growth, let's work together. I offer one-on-one private coaching as well as workshops and in-person events. There's really something for everyone. To learn more, visit my website at acrprofessionalcoaching.com or send me a DM on Instagram and start a conversation. And don't worry, I truly want all of us to succeed. So I promise I will never steer you wrong. Let's create a career and life you love. Chat with you again soon.